Guys, down below in the comments, let us know which manager at the Copa America is going into the tournament with the hottest possible seat. We got 3 selections each for y'all in this video. We're going to go through those in order. Again, y'all let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. And if you like videos about the Copa America, make sure you hit subscribe. I got 2 kind of more average takes and then a hot one at the end. I'm going to go with the coach who, in my opinion, has the hottest seat at the Copa America, and that's Jimmy Lozano with Mexico.
Yeah. All right.
Seeing your top 3?
Yeah. He was going to be my number 1. I want to pose a question to you. What
Okay.
is the most that he would be capable of doing and still lose his job? What is the highest that he could achieve and still lose his job?
Comments, let us know. I think if he gets grouped at this Copa America, I think the pressure is insane. I think it's already insane. And the guy hasn't even been here that long. Dude, he's got 9 games with Mexico. He's got 3 wins, 3 draws, and 3 losses. That record's pretty cheeks. And it is extremely possible that by the time the Copa America rolls around, he's got 5 or 6 losses. We still got, I want to say, Brazil and Uruguay as friendlies before the Copa America, and Bolivia, which could be a draw. Like, the man could have 5 losses, a losing record going into the tournament.
Yeah.
He's got draws against Uzbekistan, who I rate very highly, and a draw against Australia. He got bodied by Honduras. Literally, we squeaked into the Copa America. Let's not forget that. It's been a while, so I think the waters have calmed. Mexico squeaked into the tournament. Everybody was clowning Canada for losing to Jamaica. We were 30 seconds away from being in the same position to Honduras. At least Jamaica got, on paper, a stacked team. I don't know what type of hope he gives the fan base long term. I don't know what his best performance is. It's probably beating Panama 3-0, where he just sat back and gave them possession. Or the 2-2 Germany game, which I'm going to, as time goes by, I just look at it more and more of a fluke. I don't know. I think the seat's already warm, too. I think going into the tournament, he's got the hottest by far, and I don't think he's got a long leash here. I think he's clearly the hottest seat, actually, by a mile at the Copa.
No, it's not close. What happens if he runs into Argentina in the knockout and they trounce him? Like, if Mexico runs into Argentina and we beat you guys, let's just go back another 7-1. 90%, 80% possession by Argentina. A Mexico red card. You think so?
In my opinion, he is sacked. Yeah. I mean, there's already like a historical precedent for that. I mean, Diego Coca got thrashed by the U.S. 3-0, and they sacked him immediately.
Yeah.
Juan Carlos Osorio survived the Chile 7-0, but barely. And that was because Mexico was in good form going into the tournament. I mean, I was never more confident about a Mexican side at a tournament. Well, maybe 2014 World Cup, but either 2014 World Cup or 2016 Copa, for very different reasons. 14 was vibes because Herrera was there, and I was like, oh my God, he's just a character. 16 was actually like form. We were actually like beating good teams. We had a good team, and we got crushed. He survived, but his reputation is not. I don't think he's even looked back fondly as a good coach. Lozano, he's already used up his health potions, bro.
Yeah.
His Olympic bronze medal health potion is gone. The gold cup, gone. He's got no health left, and he's, you know, when you're going through the gym battle and you got to like beat some of the minions first?
Literally, yes.
So he's gotten past those mofos. He got past the bodyguards. He still got Brock, and he got no health potions.
He got Brock.
And you got a fire type Pokemon going up against Onyx.
You rough. You in a rough position. Rough. Yeah, you pick Charizard as the starter.
And you at the Rock Gym, bro.
You at the Rock Gym. This is brutal. Brutal. Mm-hmm. I'm actually on my Hoenn playthrough right now, Gen 3. Shout out to those of you that know. And I just bodied. I think I'm on the 5th gym right now. But I just took Swampert all the way through the fire gym. I didn't swap. Mud shot, water gun. Mud shot, water gun. One shot, one shot, one shot. It was insane. That's what you got to do.
That is what you got to do, but we're the ones that might get one-shotted at the Copa America, and
Correct.
the FMF, they're trigger happy, like you said. They will accept zero accountability. They will blame the coach 100%, and he'll be gone.
Do you think that
And
would be?
final point,
Yeah.
just last point. There's only one game at this Copa America in which Mexico is also the underdog. It's the Ecuador game. We're not the underdogs against Venezuela. Don't talk to me about form and CONMEBOL qualifying. Mexico is not the underdog. At worst case, it is even. And then don't tell me Mexico's the underdog against Jamaica. We're the favorite in both of those games. So to not advance would be very, very bad, and he loses his job for sure.
Yeah.
What's your question?
What do you think happens after he gets sacked? Should that happen? Would that be good for you guys? What are options outside of that? Because I've got a scenario in mind. I think that should he leave and should Felix Sanchez lose his job, I think that potentially that could be a decent sub.
Felix, your number 2?
Yeah. Not a lot, to be completely honest. In my opinion, if Ecuador underperforms, I think it's the coach's fault completely. So should something happen there, I think he's out.
He's my number 2 as well, Felix Sanchez. I don't think this is our opinion.
I
think he's factually top 3 hottest seats.
I really thought you were going to clown me for that. I really thought you were going to clown me for that. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I feel significantly better. But genuinely, like let's think about this. Felix Sanchez, when he was with Qatar, that's a money job, right? It's a money job. They do pretty well, right? They win an Asian Cup with him.
Yeah, boy. 2019. Come on now.
Okay.
Read those history books.
I'm just verifying here. I'm not the AFC guy.
Fair.
But Felix Sanchez wins the Asian Cup, then he goes to the World Cup, gets absolutely bodied, right? Shows up, Ecuador fumble the bag, letting Gareca slip through their fingers like sand. We'll never forgive them for that. Felix Sanchez comes in, doing pretty all right, but we need a result here. I think if they lose to the quarters, I think potentially we're looking at a Felix Sanchez exit. But I do think he would be a big enough name and qualified enough to take the Mexico job.
I'm going to say we should bookmark who the successor to Lozano is because for this video, it's not relevant. But
okay.
I do not think Mexico would hire Felix Sanchez. I think they would look at Liga MX in that case. But in the case of Felix Sanchez, I do agree that he is on the hot seat right now. For me, the only way for Sanchez to lose his job, though, would be the group stage. I think if he makes the quarterfinals, and as long as it's not a thrashing against Chile or Canada, I think he makes it, but then his seat is flaming for the qualifiers. Like it would be to the point where if they get grouped, Ecuador, and they go to and lose their next 2 World Cup qualifiers, he could be sacked after those 2 games. Yeah. Like that's where I think we are more with Felix Sanchez. If you're saying this message, that means that you clicked on a video from our Copa America series. And if you're a fan of the Copa America and you do not want to miss the daily uploads dropping here on Deadball TV, make sure you hit subscribe.
I don't know. In my opinion, if I was running the Ecuadorian FA, I know that they really don't have many options, right? The reason they didn't get Gareca was financial constraints. I think that if I did have the money, dude would be out immediately if we lose in the quarters. If Ecuador lose in the quarters, I mean, this is a semifinal team minimum.
Even on penalties? I don't know. Chile beats them on pens. I feel like you can't get rid of him in that case. No Estupiñán too. I mean, they pick up one more injury, Enner goes down, or Sarmiento, Kendry Pies. They're literally one injury away in the midfield or the attack from like this team might be dead wood offensively. They're borderline that already.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he would survive a penalty shootout loss. He's got to get beat 2-0 by Canada or 2-0 by Chile, I think. Or get grouped. If he gets grouped, that's inexcusable.
Yes.
I don't care who's out. I don't care if Pacho's injured. I don't care if Incampié is injured. You cannot be grouped to this Copa America.
You cannot. Unforgivable.
And I'm trying to think of like other teams that are in a similar caliber to Ecuador. And I was trying to go through the managers like Bielsa. Even if Uruguay gets grouped, I don't think he gets sacked. I don't think his seat would be, well, it would be hot. It would be hot, but I think he's been so good in qualifying, it would protect him. Like
Yeah.
going back to the health potion thing, like Lozano's used his. I think Bielsa still got his. So he might have to use a revive or a max potion
Yeah.
if they get grouped, but he would survive. Felix Sanchez, already like 60 to 70% of the fan base doesn't even like him. He doesn't even have like the streets on his side, you know? I think there'd be
Yeah, he got
riots in Quito.
he's lost the streets.
He has lost the streets. It's a very boring style of football. Now his record is good, and I would keep Felix Sanchez if they got knocked out in the quarters. I would keep him, but I could also see the federation panicking. They're in 5th right now for World Cup qualifying. They could panic and be like, we got to get rid of him. It's not guaranteed, but I think the seat is hot. And no way Venezuela, if they get grouped, no way they sack Batista. Because he's made them as good as they've been in 15 years.
Yes. Yeah.
He's completely safe.
They owe everything to him right now.
So we have the same number 1, the same number 2. Guys, if we have different selections as you guys, of course, drop it in the comments. My number 3 is hot. It's hot.
Like a hot take?
I'm getting meta here. I'm going to
Okay.
lose 50% of our viewers as soon as I say his name.
All right, let's hear
All right,
it.
you ready for this? Thomas Christiansen with Panama.
Okay.
Let me make
Okay.
my case. Let me
Make
make
your
the
case.
case. I've talked about it already. I think Christensen in Panama, I think he's maxed this team out. Okay. He's gotten 4th place at consecutive Nations Leagues. He gets the odd victory here and there against the better teams. But this Panama side, I don't know what more can be done. And so I think Panama, who have a big ask with Uruguay and the US in the group stage, they'll likely get 3 points, but even that's not guaranteed and go out in the group stage. And I think after this point, there's a slight chance that Christensen and Panama could mutually be like, I cannot do anything else here. And they might just agree to step away. I think it's very unlikely because I think he's done a phenomenal job with Panama. I mean, if he qualified for the 2022 World Cup, I would say his record is pretty flawless, actually, as Panama manager. But I think they'll both look at it and be like, we're not going up. We're not going down. The Costa Ricans are feeling good. Honduras is making moves. Jamaica is being Jamaica. We might need to just go in a different direction. And I would expect Christensen to take an upgrade at that point as well. I
Yeah.
would expect him to get a better job. But I think it'd be a come to Jesus. Like, okay, I really, really can't do anything more with Panama, especially if they eat like 4 goals in one game, like they've been known to do. I think it'll be like a Pochettino leaving Spurs. Like, he's our guy, but he just ain't gonna win. You know,
Yeah.
I could see
Yeah.
something like that. Again, very unlikely, but there's not a lot of hot seats at this Copa America, in my opinion.
No. There's not too many. I've got one more that is it's not hot. I would say it's warm. It's a
Okay.
little warm.
Okay.
And then I've got one that I wish was hot. I've
Okay.
got one that if in Connor's perfect world it would be hot, right?
Okay. I think I know exactly what that's going to be.
I
But
th-
give
I
me your
think
third.
I think we all do. But my third is going to be Brazil. And I don't think it's very hot because
Mm,
Junior has only 2 matches in charge. They were really good results. Really good results. Gone over to Europe, done really well, but they're friendlies. That being said, if Brazil loses to, shall we say, the United States, if we do get
mm.
that legendary, Berhalter era win over them, I think that he's got a provisional. I think that is his last health potion. And then he's going into the next 2 windows for World Cup qualification. Hot, sweating.
Sweating. Yeah,
Sweating.
he's in the
You let
sauna.
if you exit quarterfinals, if Brazil does not make it to a semis, the fuse is lit. The fuse is lit, and you're on damage control at this point.
Yeah. No, I love that. I originally had, Cunyor second,
Okay.
and I thought about it, and I was like, "Okay, what would need to happen for him to get sacked?" I think
Mm,
group stage, genuinely, they pull the plug immediately.
yeah.
I
Oh,
think if
yeah.
Paraguay knock him out, he's
You have
gone.
to. You have to. Yeah.
Just like that.
Which I would too, frankly.
Oh, and it's the nature of the Brazil job. It's not
Yes.
because he's a trash manager. The guy just won
No,
the
no, no, no.
Libertadores, I wanna say last year.
Yeah.
So, he's not trash. I don't know how elite he is. I don't watch enough South American club football, unfortunately, to speak on that. But you're managing Brazil, you don't get a lot of health potions.
No.
You get 1 max. Like, if he bounced out in the quarters to the US, chat, let us know, what's the probability he would be sacked after losing to the US in the quarterfinals? It gotta be, like, 60%? Am I tripping for that? It's more likely he gets sacked than stays if the US beats Brazil in the Copa America?
I think it might depend on the manner of victory. No, actually, you know what? No. Because if the USA beats you in pens, ain't nobody gonna forgive you for that.
No, if you couldn't beat the US in 120 minutes,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, no.
Brazil.
You're Brazil. Let's remember who you are. And I think that's what they want. They want a return to who they are. Because at least when they were losing 7-1 to Germany, falling out in different World Cups, they're still Brazil. They're dangerous. You know, when they lost in uh 2022, it took a miracle job from Croatia to do that. You have to be Brazil. You have to own up to that personality. If you're not representing the brand, if you're not reminding these guys who they are and the historical pedigree that you have and playing like that, then I'm so sorry, but you're not cut out for it. You're not cut out for it, and they
Mhm.
have to appease the fans and, frankly, do homage to their illustrious 5 stars by cutting the fat, regardless. It's
Agreed.
cutthroat.
You you
It's
you
cutthroat, and I
cannot
think it's
be
valid.
you cannot be Brazil and lose to a CONCACAF team,
No, no.
regardless of context. And is that fair? No, but, the world ain't fair. Like,
No,
Brazil and Ecuador are not built the same, and expectations are different. Does it make sense that the expectations on the Mexican manager are the same level, if not higher, than the US manager? No, it doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't be the case. That's how it is. Comes with the job. You get paid well, and the media hates you, and it's going to be the worst period of your entire life. Comes with the job. So I do think Dorival, if he's not top three, he's four,
yeah.
in my opinion.
No, he's gotta be
Gosh, I,
top 3. I don't know who nobody else has the expectations of the pressure like that, you know?
I just threw Christensen above him because Christensen's been there for 4 years now,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
we've seen him fall short.
Correct. Correct. Well, yeah, that's the thing with a lot of these other managers is they're brand new in, and those clubs don't or these clubs, those footballing associations, these FAs don't have the expectations that Brazil has. They don't. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but Uruguay is not nearly as cutthroat as the other guys, and Bielsa hasn't been there long enough to earn that hot of a seat. I
exactly.
think Uruguay, the argument for them is that they had a couple of great fixtures before, decent, even though they lost to oh my goodness, who was it? It
Ivory
was
Coast.
Ivory Coast. Thank you. You lose to Ivory Coast, but that's not going to get you hot. Not in a friendly.
Not
No,
at all.
no. In
No.
World Cup qualification, they're full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. They're fantastic. So it's not hot. It's not hot.
No. And we've seen Uruguay. I also try to take into consideration like how the federations operate. Uruguay had Tavares for a long time, and there were several tournaments where he did very, very well, literally winning a Copa America, and other tournaments where he didn't do as well.
Yeah,
And I'm not gonna say his seat was freezing cold like the Lich King the entire time, but he lasted a long time. And so
yeah.
there's no way. Uruguay is going to be so reactive that they would sack Bielsa
No,
if they lost in the quarterfinals. Like, I
no.
just
And on top of that, Bielsa's like a project guy. You got to give him
exactly.
the
They know
reins
what
for
they
like
signed up for.
exactly. You give Bielsa the reins for 5 years, and he's gonna get your young guys firing as well as the older guys. He's got to get his development settled in. Like I think one of the biggest stories that I saw was that he brought up a guy from the junior soccer league, from the amateur
Yeah,
league.
semi-pro.
Yeah, semi-pro. Awesome. Cool. If anybody's going to do it, I trust him. I trust him and like Pep Guardiola to be like, this kid's got something.
I'm gonna throw something at you. Fossati with Peru. You think his seat is hot? I think Fossati and I think Houndgrenson with Jamaica are interesting to discuss at the very least.
I think that Fossati's seat is hot when they find an alternative because Peru is without options. They're without ideas. They don't know what to do. Who are they going to replace him with? Who is Peru going to bring in to replace Fossati? Like there are no other options there. Nobody really wants that job. So I don't think it's really hot because they don't have any alternatives. They're stuck with him.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
it could be pretty warm if they take 0.
Yeah, if they
They
take
lose to
0.
Canada.
If they take 0, it's definitely up for discussion and, the board or whoever, the president will be looking for other options. But frankly, if I'm being completely transparent, they should be looking for other options already. It should be being discussed right now.
I'm thinking of some other teams just to nominate really, really quick. Paraguay. I don't think the manager's under any pressure at all because I don't think they're expected.
No.
Gustavo Alfaro with Costa Rica. I think he's chilling. Gareca just got there. He's got 2 games. He's gonna have 3 games for the Copa, similar to Fossati, but I think the difference is Chile is just better than Peru. So,
Yeah.
and Gareca's got international CONMEBOL pedigree. That's an extra health potion that Fossati doesn't have.
That's an extra health potion, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a legend. Him and Scaloni are the resident legends. Him, Scaloni, and Bielsa are the legends. They're untouchables right now, sitting on the coldest thrones. I think Scaloni could get grouped, and they would sign him to another 5-year contract.
correct. I think he's got the safest job.
Chiqui Tapia would go to his house, and he'd be like, "Listen, the entire country thinks it's a fluke. I have to talk you down from quitting right now." It's the opposite.
Mhm.
Scaloni is invincible.
Bro, I'm gonna say this: 3 safest jobs. Scaloni, bro. I'm gonna throw Gustavo Alfaro out there. I think Costa Rica chill with him for a minute
Mm.
and. Oh, I'm gonna say Greg Berhalter.
Really?
There's no way he gets sacked unless they take 0, which is not going to happen.
He was the guy that that's my alternate history that I really want.
No chance.
I want that.
No chance.
I want
No
him to
chance.
get
The
sacked
only
numbers.
I think it gets moderately warm if Panama knock the US out. I still don't think he gets fired. Because you know what? The player's gonna come out and they're gonna back him.
Yeah,
And
they're
the
gonna back.
Federation doesn't have any
No,
balls. They're gonna
no,
keep him.
and the president loves him.
Yes.
They love him. He's a friend. He's a
Yes.
household name. Um,
Exactly.
yeah,
He shouldn't be top 3. It should be like Nestor Lorenzo with Colombia, and I think his job is very safe as well.
yeah,
Houndgrenson, Jamaica, I mentioned him earlier. I think his job is very safe. The Jamaicans love him. The FA feels like they finally found the one. Leon Bailey don't like him. I don't know if some of the other players don't like him, but he's bringing a
that's all right. They play better without
modicum
him.
of stability. Yeah, stay your ass at home. Let DeMar Gray do the finishing. All right. Anyways, damn, we just went out Bailey there for no reason. I like Leon Bailey, but
Yeah, I like Leon Bailey too.
like sit your ass down and watch the Copa on your TV for no reason.
He's
I don't know what
catching
came over me
strays
just
out
then.
here, bro.
Yeah, my bad, Leon. I didn't mean to get heated like that. And then Canada, I don't even know if Bielo is going to be the coach, but I think his seat is scorching hot as well if he is the manager. But as of now, I believe he's out of contract.
Look, that the Canadian seat, they have no expectations. It's hot going into the Copa and not because of the Copa, if that makes any sense. If they make a transfer, it'll be regardless. Like it's something to prove there. Like
Yeah.
you should have been that seat was hot before. The only reason you're not out already is because the FA is dragging its ass, which there's no new news there, you know?
The reason Bielo's not out of the job,
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. The Canadian soccer is a joke, but I do think if they extend him, and again they get blown out 3 times, I think they pull the trigger again. I do. I think
Yeah.
they'd get rid of him. I think they'd say this
Yeah.
team is too talented. We can't be taking 0 at the Copa with Peru and Chile in the group.
Yeah. But I think they're probably exploring those options regardless. I would be.
Mhm. I think Canada just want a vote of confidence that their manager is gonna have them ready for 2026. I don't think they're
Yes.
expecting a quarters or semis, but again,
Correct.
if they get decimated, they're gonna be like, "Ain't nothing to build here. We're building
I
on
yeah,
sand."